Hi, and welcome to the third video on legal research. This is done by the University of Tasmania Law Library, and it's the third video in a series for Introduction to Law. The first two videos we look at legal resources available to you through the library. We also, in the second video, introduce you to some search techniques. In this video, we're going to talk about evaluating what you find. Hopefully the first two videos have illustrated to you that simply Googling your keywords will not get you the higher quality results that you get if you use library resources. Often you'll find that you save time by planning your research ahead and using the right resources, because otherwise using Google or similar search engine, you find yourself scrolling and reading through large quantities of irrelevant materials. Also, with academic writing, your lecturer will generally prefer you to reference your work to books, reputable journal articles, and information on websites that are authoritative. So, for example, government websites rather than somebody's individual site. And your reading of academic materials and your ability to ensure that your information is accurate and up to date will assist you to get better grades. So what do you need to check when you find something online? There are a number of questions that you'll need to ask yourself when deciding what to use in your assignments. The first question is that information up to date? So is it relevant as at today's date, or is it talking possibly about a case that's very old and no longer authoritative? Is the information that you found objective, relevant, and accurate? So just if it's coming from a reliable source, it's more likely to be relevant and accurate. However, you'll need to use your own discretion to make those decisions. The next question is it from a scholarly source? So one way to establish if you have gotten something that's a scholarly source is to check if the article has been peer-reviewed. Peer review is a process where each article has been reviewed and affirmed by multiple experts in the field. It is usually apparent from the journal itself whether its articles are peer-reviewed. However, there are some tips in the library subject guides to help you determine whether an article is scholarly. And I'm just going to quickly show you how to find the relevant library subject guide. So as we discussed in the earlier two videos, from the library homepage on the top right corner, you can see the link to the library subject guides. And from these you can find the law subject guides in the left-hand box. And in the legal skills research guide, we have information on evaluating what you find. So that is located down the very bottom here. So with whether it's scholarly, try to look at whether we have a credible author, whether it's accurate, reliable, up to date, is it objective. If you go to, for example, Google Scholar to find an article, see if you can find a link back to the University of Tasmania Library Catalogue, because if you can go through to the catalogue and find a library resource, it is more likely to be the correct version of the article and from a credible source. So with peer-reviewed materials, we've talked about how the peer review process works. There's different ways to look for only peer-reviewed materials. So if you're going into a database, you can select that you only want to see peer-reviewed sources. And you can also check if something's peer-reviewed by going to the journal itself, and it gives you in the first few pages a bit of information about how they select the articles that go into that journal. Another way is to check what's called Ulrich's Web, and we have a link here. So Ulrich's Web is a paid subscription, so don't just Google it, go through the library subject guide, and here you might want to put in what you found. So from the previous video, Torts Law Review, and here we find the Torts Law Review information, and it confirms that it is a journal. However, it's not saying that it's a scholarly journal, it's more for consumers, so that might be written by law practitioners for other law practitioners as opposed to a peer-reviewed source. In contrast, you might be looking at a journal. So the Torts Law Journal. And here you have, if you have a look, it's an academic and scholarly source. So Ulrich's Web is a great way to check whether the journal articles that you're finding are from a scholarly source. As you would be aware, when you use ideas from other writers, it's important that you reference everything, including every book, article, or even every web page. For law subjects at the University of Tasmania, the preferred style of referencing is AGLC 3, which is the Australian Guide to Legal Citation. And this will give you the correct format to reference all your legal materials, including cases and legislation, and the secondary sources that you've used to research in your assignment. It will also help you to work out how to use footnotes and a bibliography at the end of your assignments. And we have a link to the electronic copy of the guide on our library subject guide, and we have print copies at the library. If you are doing a law degree in total, we recommend that you probably buy your own because you are going to be using it quite a lot through the course of your degree. I'm going to show you our library subject guide on referencing, and hopefully that will assist you find it in the future. So again, from the library homepage, going to our subject guides, to law, and then here we have an AGLC 3 referencing guide. So this guide gives you a direct link to the Australian Guide to Legal Citation, and here you see is a PDF version of the guide. We also provide you with other resources to assist you and how to use the AGLC 3 guide. So an example of how you would put in a footnote into your academic paper and what that could look like, and referencing formats. So say, for example, we found a journal article, we would go to referencing formats, journal articles, and here we would see examples of a footnote and something that we would put in our bibliography. Hopefully these examples will help guide you and assist you to use the AGLC 3 guide. In addition to that, we do have example texts for you, so what the footnote would look like, and also we have a tutorial so you can test your knowledge. You will need to use a Flash video player to access it. Now, if you need any help with referencing or your research, or even just finding a library resource that you're looking for, please don't hesitate to contact the Law Library. Here are our details. We can be contacted by phone or email, and these details are both here in this video and on the library website. We're usually available during regular work hours, Monday to Fridays, and always happy to have a chat. So that brings us to the end of the video. This is the third video, and we've covered quite a lot across the 3 videos. We've covered all the legal resources available at the library, focusing on secondary sources. We've also covered in the second video search techniques to help you find what you're looking for. And in this video we've looked at how to evaluate information and some of the resources that the library has put together to assist you to evaluate what you have found and how to reference what you have found in your assignments. Thank you again for your time today. If you have any questions or want to learn more, please do get in touch. We're always happy to hear from you.